Always two there are. No more, no less.
Greetings my friends, and welcome back to the channel. The Rule of Two was the Sith's golden egg, and the entire catalyst for their success. Created by Darth Bane some 100 years before the Clone Wars, the Rule of Two is how the Sith were able to move about the galaxy completely unseen by the Jedi. One master, one apprentice, one to embody the power, and the other to crave it. These simple, yet straightforward words forms the Sith's new tenet during the entirety of the Baneite era. Despite the intended result of the Rule of Two, which was above all secrecy, the beans were still spilled about it at some point and to the Jedi, eventually making its way all the way to Jedi lore, as seen in the Phantom Menace during Qui-Gon Jinn's funeral, where Yoda and Mace Windu recite the tenets of the Rule of Two, and speculate which Sith Lord Maul had been, the Master or the Apprentice. But how could Yoda and Mace Windu have known about the Rule of Two? And if they did know, why didn't the Jedi Order take action? Well, today, my friends, we'll be explaining all of that, and it all has to do with one man at the wrong place at the wrong time, and the result being the Jedi actually knowing about the Rule of Two. First though, according to our analytics, a lot of the ships that fly past our battle station have not yet subscribed and docked. So if you've been enjoying the daily Star Wars holocron openings, be sure to reach out and force crush that subscribe button. Now, let us begin. Kip Gene was once a Jedi consular who lived around 188 BBY. A studier of the Force in all of its aspects, Kip Gene and his master were called to do a study on a strong Force presence of the dark side that was detected on the planet of Almas in the Colrian system. Upon arriving to the planet, the Padawan Gene and his master encountered the source of the dark side energy, which was a Sith temple that was hidden on the planet. The temple had been built many thousands of years prior to the Jedi discovering it by the Sith Lord Darth Revan, not to be confused with Darth Revan. Revan lived during the era of the new Sith Wars, and built this temple to study the dark side and the artifacts that lay within. The power of the temple was so great that it corrupted the mind of the Padawan Gene, and he slew his master when he least expected it, becoming a Dark Jedi. Gene then went into the temple and studied the journals of Darth Revan and the notes of his apprentice, and became quite powerful because of it. It is here that he also presumably learned about the Rule of Two from these journals as well, kept by Darth Revan, as he was indeed a Rule of Two era Sith Lord. Gene would go on to dominate the minds of an entire army of pirates and use them as his personal army to attempt to take control of the entire system. 7 years later, the news of Gene's escapades would reach the ears of the Jedi Order and the Council, and they dispatched a team of Jedi Knights to confront the situation. After one of the most intense conflicts in the system's history, the Knights were able to destroy Gene's fleet and neutralize him after a brief engagement. In his dying breath though, he muttered some disjointed garble about the Rule of Two and its tenets. The Jedi Knights took the news, along with all of Darth Revan's journals, and presented them to the Jedi High Council as one of the greatest discoveries of the Sith in recent years, as the Jedi believed that the Sith were no more and had essentially been destroyed. And this revelation changed everything for them. The Council, though, dismissed these claims as mere rumors, and chose not to look into it beyond what they had at the library at their disposal. The reason being that the Jedi had just had many years of peace and had fully convinced themselves that the Sith Order was destroyed and finished. For millennia, the Sith had wreaked havoc over the galaxy, and for the first time in a very long time, the Jedi were experiencing an era of peace. 181 BBY would have still been in the High Republic era, during the time when the Jedi Order were doing things right and were actually being the peacekeepers that they claimed to be. Another war with the Sith, the Council feared so much, would put them right back at square one. The wounds of the war with the Brotherhood of Darkness were still being felt, and no Jedi wanted to think that the Sith were still around. Because of this, the Sith's existence were mere idle rumors on the High Council. Due to the Council's negligence and suspension of belief, the Rule of Two was allowed to thrive during this era. It wouldn't be until Qui-Gon's encounter with Maul that the Jedi Order started taking the Rule of Two more seriously. That is why Obi-Wan Kenobi's duel with Darth Maul is actually much more important than many realize. This marked the first time a Jedi confronted a Sith Lord in around 1,000 years, and the Jedi lived to tell the tale. Therefore, it caused Yoda and Mace Windu to draw upon their knowledge of Darth Revan. In Darth Bane's chapter in the Book of the Sith, he has an entire section where he describes the Rule of Two. As we know, the Jedi did get their hands on these collections of works and wrote their own thoughts in margins. At the bottom of the page, we get our official answer in the words of Quinlan Vos as he speaks on the Rule of Two. The Jedi learned about the Rule of Two more than a century ago from the cultist Kip Gene. Some of them didn't believe it though. Now that Obi-Wan's fight on Naboo has confirmed the truth of the Sith, The Jedi are ready to face whatever the Sith have been cooking up for nearly 1,000 years. So the answer here given by Quinlan Vos is in very plain text. Within Darth Revan's temple, he actually held knowledge and writings from Darth Bane himself. And it were within these very writings that Yoda discovered Darth Bane and the Rule of Two. That is why in the Clone Wars, Yoda is actually familiar with Darth Bane in the fact that he was the one that established the Rule of Two relationship. And that is why he actually calls him by name. Yoda and Mace Windu are familiar with Darth Bane, and even though the Jedi learned of the return of the Sith nearly 100 years before the events of the Phantom Menace, they did not believe it until Darth Maul, and until Obi-Wan Kenobi defeated and believably killed Darth Maul on Naboo. So again, this is how Yoda and Mace Windu assume that there is another Sith Lord out there, and the confirmation that the Sith have returned validates the writings of Darth Revan, and everything that the Jedi discovered nearly 100 years ago. But again, it only speaks to the hubris and arrogance of the Jedi, that they believed that they did not have to check on the Rule of Two after they discovered it 100 years before Sidious and Maul, and believed themselves too powerful for the Sith to ever return, and that the writings of Darth Revan must have been illegitimate. They essentially had 100 years to prepare for the return of the Sith, and they filed it all away as a lie. But anyway, my friends, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on Darth Revan and the Jedi Gene who discovered the Rule of Two and then subsequently fell to the dark side? What do you think would have happened if the Jedi had took this return threat seriously? And what are your thoughts on how Yoda and Mace Windu knew of the Rule of Two? As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching the channel. Hit that subscribe button, and may the Force be with you.